Pacol, 25-year-old from Austria, rode for MS Mondraker.
Yeah, right, comes out, lives in Schladming, used to very steep tracks. And I actually spoke to team manager just before we came in the commentary booth, and he said that, Marcus, not perhaps feeling that comfortable on this course, struggling for lines on the high speed sections. But looking good through there, perhaps not the quickest we've seen. But Pacol, well, the split time actually gone down on my screen here. So hopefully we're going to get a live one when he comes through split number 2.
He's had a good start to the season there with the 14th and the 10th for the first 2 rounds, and a lot better than his season last year, where he had a serious car crash before the season started.
Yeah, that's right, really shook him up.
That really messed him up for the first 3 rounds. He's able to put it back a little bit and towards the end of the season, finishing around the 20th sort of position out of the last 4 rounds. So Pacol, one of those riders that's just hovering outside the top 20 or just inside the foot in each camp, but a rider that really could step it up and make himself a regular in the top 20.
So Pacol 5th at split number 2, 1.39 back for him. Is he going to do anything about underneath? No, it's red, 1.86 back for Marcus Pacol. So a good run from him. And, I know the guy's not going to get back in the top 10. He might have to wait now. One of the last 2 rounds. Well, Remy Thirion, common style rider. The sensational victor in Andorra a couple of weeks ago. This guy was on fire. Interesting to see what he can do on this course. Very different cutting to the course we had in Val Nord.
Oh, incredibly different. That course in Val Nord was so steep the whole way down there. This track a little bit flatter, but the speed is just upped the whole way down it.
Well, Thirion, back at 1.9 at split number 1. I was actually stood in this wood section in practice, and Thirion got it all wrong and went into a tree at high speed. So he hit it that hard that I thought he must have busted his shoulder. I know he's riding with a sore shoulder today, which will affect his performance, of course. But he hit it that hard. His knees were buckling under him. Poor kid. He went into it real hard. So Thirion, as he comes up to split 2, what's he done? 1.5. So he goes 0.4 quicker then between those 2 splits. Good riding from him. Just the bottom section and go. But whatever happens for the rest of this season, it'll be the season he'll remember the rest of his life, where he took his first World Cup win. Only the 3rd time I think he's been in the top 10 of World Cup racing, and he did it with a win.
Yeah, incredible ride last weekend. It's not going to be repeated this time, just slipping back a little bit, 1.3 outside.
5th place for only 1.3 back though, and I'm pretty sure that shoulder will have slowed him down a bit today, so we're going to see big things from Thirion in the future. No doubt about it. I think actually Thirion, the first guy, you can tweet me if I'm wrong, at Rob Warner 970, the first guy to win on an air shot last week on that Boss suspension. So no doubt there'll be an influx in my inbox now how wrong I am. Florent Payet, the tallest man on the World Cup circuit. Silver at the Junior World Championships in 2004. Absolutely dwarfs that bike, Cuddy.
Yeah, big old rider. Is that going to help him? We've seen big riders win here before. Steve Peat always done incredibly well on this track. So could be a sign that you're able to hold the bike over these rough bits of the track that you can see there.
Fast up there. Now we're starting to see some pictures from the further up the track here. Here's that big step down across that gap. They now go into another big hip they need to scrub as well.
Nice inside line he held into that berm there.
He did. He kept it low off there as well. Again, you've got to try and get into those turns early and carry good speed through them, not just clip them at the end if you're offline. So Payet now entering the fastest part of this course.
That section there where we saw Giafton have a horrible crash in practice last
65k Cunning, excuse me, just 0.01 back. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was just saying, saw Giafton have a horrible crash. If you haven't seen it, look it up on the internet somewhere. There was some stills of it all put in the sequence, and it was nasty. Really looked like a MotoGP crash more than anything on a mountain bike. But looking at Payet on his run here, none of that holding him back in a straight line through this section.
No, and he was great, had a great ride in Val di Sole this year where he was 8th, his first World Cup top 10 since he took 6th in Maribor, Slovenia, all the way back in 2007. So I think sometimes, there's advantages and disadvantages, obviously being tall and short, but sometimes being that tall gives him a lot of range on that bike. And it means he'll carry good speed as well. So he's up. So now he's threatening the time of Andrew Neeland. 0.2 up and split number 2 for Florent Payet. Wow, he looks quick into this section as well. Oh, style over that big bridge there. Actually scrubbing it up the face. He had that much speed coming onto. I think he's going to go fastest, Cunny.
Incredible into the bottom section. He is carrying pace to whip it over the bottom jumps.
He's going to go.
No, denied.
Back for him. Well, he lost some time on that lower part, man. Well, that just shows that as late as that second split is, people can change position from there on down, but I think he'd be disappointed with that. I really thought he was moving on there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to even extend that lead that he had at the split time there.
I did, actually, yeah, absolutely.
Look at this track, that there where Ray Chatterton crashed, you can see just catching out a little bit, it fucked his back wheel, that same rock, so guys having some troubles on that jagged little bit there.
And there's Needles in the hot seat, he's sat there quite a while now. Mitch Dow's Evil Vengeance Tour from Australia, actually lived in Bromont for a fair time, so he knows the course well.
Yeah, I've heard some of the photographers this week saying that Mitch looking really good on track. Could be where he pulls it together big time this season.
He's got a flat tyre.
Oh no.
Ah, Douse out with a flat back tyre as well. Well, that turn on screen there actually been there since I raced here for the first time in 1994. So the course has become a lot straighter and a lot quicker over the years, but still a lot of turns.
Some of the relics like yourself still hanging about.
Oh, easy. There's no need for that, was there? Just reminiscing. People at home want to hear about my failed career from 20 years ago. What about?
Well, we were talking about that the other day, weren't we? All the revelations.
So, Dow said flat back tyre. You can see it, and you can see why as well. So many rocks in the ground that can just sharp edges to give you a compression flat. All sorts of things going on with the mechanics trying to get over the problem of it, but no one actually found a real 100% cure for the hoaxes, have they?
No.
Some people claim to, though, in the pits, but
I saw someone that claimed to this week, one of the mechanics, and then his rider, just as he was claiming, came back to the pits with a flat tyre.
So standards at the moment, and Andrew Needlin in the hot seat. Fastest time of the day, 4:02.984. Paye behind him. Mark Beaumont in third. Actually, Mark Beaumont, I believe, first time he's gone out on that Fox prototype air rear shock. It's there for G and Rachel, but both of them decided to stick with what they know. Obviously, with the World Championships coming up in Pietermaritzburg, and there'll be a fair bit of pedalling involved, everyone trying to get the weight off their bikes. Beaumont tried it Saturday and stuck with it, really enjoying riding on it. Lorenzo Suding in fourth, Atkinson fifth, Tyrion in sixth, winner of the last race. Guardia Pascal seventh, Pecco in eighth, George Brannigan ninth, and Ferreo Pagello from Spain there, rounding out the top 10. And Mitch Douse doing the decent thing and getting off the course.
Interesting you should mention the air shock, because we've just done a feature called The Details in the Dirt, where we're talking to the mechanics about suspension, and they do actually mention why it's so difficult to create an air shock.
Right, sorry, can't even cut you off, but you won't mind, because it's the man leading this year's World Cup. 2 wins to his name, had an absolutely massive crash. Look how quick he went in that first turn, Cuddy. That's commitment. It's great when we do see these big guns come down so early. The pace, you can almost see the pace difference. So railing around that turn there as well.
And even on a little corner like that, you can see just where G's making up time. He was so quick on the pedals, it was almost instantaneous. Before the bike was even upright, he was putting the power down. Seamless is the way these guys ride in and out corners. Yeah, they just carry so much speed. And on a course like this afternoon here in Montana, of course, momentum, everything as it is really on any downhill World Cup track. But to G then, well, that's where he landed on his head last year at 53 kilometres an hour through that speed trap. And I didn't see a style bit manual from him over there. So we didn't get a split up on screen. And I haven't got a split up on my timing screen ever, so some issues there. I don't think we need it, Rob. We can tell you this man is going quick. This is an incredible ride from G. I don't think he was too upset after his qualifying. He just thought he put it down to a little bit of a mistake. Then
Cunning, the split's disappeared. I'm going to have to cut you off. He's faster than the split one, excuse me.
Look at this. What a ride, floating to that section there, and see him picking up the front wheel, manualing sections just to carry the pace the whole way down this course.
And he had another massive crash, the mechanic told me, Pete, this morning, in practice, just skimming those rocks there with that right-hand pedal crank as he comes up to split two. So 3.3884.
Yes.
Giatha, this is looking like an amazing run. The man has absolutely no bounds, a fork into that turn there as well. But Athern, he must be feeling rough. 2 huge high-speed accidents here in the last few days, like he did last year, and Athern see, Cuddy, will it be
Who are my
enough?
son?
Well, it's the first
That
rider
is
breaking the
serious.
4-minute mark.
Too
And there
fucking
was an
high.
incredible riding up at the top. Look at this manual there at such pace. That is incredible to be doing that kind of riding at that speed.
It's rad on the bike.
Yeah,
It's so rad.
That is just what you want to be doing on a downhill bike, isn't it? That's just fun. But this section at the bottom just sort of drift out a little bit, have to get his foot out, lost some speed, wasn't actually able to clear that tabletop there.
I just heard Mark Bowman say, all right, Jesus, it's smooth.
Yeah, maybe not
You can
what he was
ride
looking
that
for.
smooth and that fast. Well, you know, sometimes these guys are looking for a little bit more than smooth. Smooth quite often means a perfect run. And they know if they're pushing the envelope that you're going to make some mistakes here and there. Although sometimes being smooth. So Brendan's getting all out of shape now.
Talking of mistakes.
Talking of mistakes.
Making a couple there.
But I know that he had a massive crash as well, Kenny. Sorry, in practice this morning. Off this section here, he went big. And as he landed, the front wheel actually, front tyre popped off the tyre and he went over the top of that berm there at high speed. So good to see him back up and racing and giving it everything this afternoon.
Yeah, I saw him doing a one-hander off that as well in practice. So I hope that wasn't what was caused it. So.
Right, flat as
A little
well.
bit back now on G's time, but still quick. That could be enough to put him in second place. Cross with that sort of gap at the bottom.
So despite the option of running the 27.5-inch wheel 650V and those Scott bikes, one of the bikes that it will fit without any difficulty. He's
I can
decided to
imagine
keep it
Brendan-
real, run the 26. Go on, Kenny.
I can imagine Brendan's reason for that is that would be as good for knack-knack.
Maybe that's what it is. But these are the parts of the course.
Oh,
He would love big through there as well. Holding it down on the landing just about. Nearly got sent off through the right-hand side of the track, through the tapes there. But he's definitely pushing on
Fucking
now.
hanging on.
Coming in there with a lot of speed as well. A little mistake meaning you have to scrap a bit of pace off in the middle of that section.
It's hard to tell whether these little boys, Wild Style's actually going to be gaining him time or losing it, but we can see now confirmation it has lost him a little bit, so dropping 4 seconds back, lost a couple of seconds.
Nicely turned around in a big way.
Turning disaster into style there, Brendan Fairclough.
So Brendan's so rad on a bike, it's actually in 2010 since we've seen him on the World Cup podium. He had a couple of thirds that year, big
Oh, look,
injuries.
back it up.
Definitely
That was gnarly, that
slowed
was.
him a little bit, you know, the recovery
Oh,
periods from
back
big
it
knee
up.
injuries and stuff. But no doubt, Brendan's still one of the coolest riders.